for 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country.
And there you have it. Utah Governor Spencer Cox said he prayed for 33 hours that the killer wasn't one of us. What he meant was clear. He was praying it wasn't a white Republican. He wanted to pin it on a black person, a Latino, an Asian, an immigrant, someone queer, someone trans. He wanted anyone else to take the blame. That's not praying. That's bigotry. That's scapegoating. And it tells you exactly where his priorities lie. Protecting his party instead of facing reality. That the violence is coming from within. Well, sir, your prayers weren't answered. Tyler Robinson was a registered Republican, homegrown in Utah. A white Republican.
To the Utah governor, why do you need it to be someone else? I mean, we know why, but I just want to hear it from you. I hope a reporter follows up on that you were hoping that it was a foreigner or someone that wasn't a part of your community and it wasn't one of you guys. I'm very curious at how we're going to approach that line of questioning. Now, you did mention the death penalty. My question is, are you still about the life?
33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I hoped for.
Lock in, fuck niggas. What the hell did I just hear? Did the governor of Utah, who has one of the most lax gun laws in the state, is surprised that it's one of his residents that committed the assassination? It's been confirmed that Tyler Robinson, a white man from Utah, was the one that assassinated Charlie Kirk. Not a black person, not a Muslim person, not a trans person, but a white man from Utah. Now, based on his voter registration, it shows that he has no affiliation to any parties. Now, there isn't any direct evidence to show the individual's ideology, although there is a photograph of the individual in a Donald Trump costume. There are numerous photos of the suspect handling firearms, which clearly shows that Utah gun laws failed Charlie Kirk. And I still don't understand how the Utah's governor is still surprised that it was a white man from Utah that did this. If we just look at all the attempted assassinations and assassinations that happened this year, all of it was from white men. State lawmaker Melissa Hortman, suspect is a white man. The 2 assassination attempts on Donald Trump were white men. But you guys won't acknowledge that. And the reason is because Charlie Kirk bred the idea that white Christian people are the perfect being and anyone outside of that are criminals or problems. And any white individual part of any minority group is a corrupted individual. I would say pray for Charlie Kirk's family, but my prayers are wrapped up into the HBCUs that got those threats: Gaza, Sudan, and Congo.
What the fuck, Governor Cook? I can't believe you said that out loud. I cannot believe that you actually said that out loud on national television. And I live in this state. Like, what a racist thing to say. You was praying for 33 hours? Come on now. Come on, you racist. I can't believe that happened.
So the governor of Utah saying that he prayed for 33 hours, that he wished that it was not one of them. He sat there and said that he prayed for 33 hours that the gunman, the alleged gunman, was not one of theirs. He wanted them to be an immigrant so bad, a person of color so bad that he prayed for 33 hours that it was not one of them. I know we all heard what we heard. And come to find out, it was one of him. Clock it. I would do my little finger clip, but I got popsicle in my hand. Clock that. Sir, yeah, it was one of yours. What did you think? Who did you think? Who could you possibly have thought it was? You think black people, brown people is going to sit up there with a high power rifle on somebody's rooftop? First of all, we burn in the sun as well. We burn in the sun as well. We've never stopped people from having a difference of opinion. The only thing that we want is equal rights. That's it. Equal rights. Fair treatment. Accountability for the things that has taken place. But nah. You say, oh, I prayed for 33 hours that the gunman, the alleged gunman, was not one of ours. My God, today, if they not telling us who they are and we not believing them at this point, there is something wrong with us. Believe what people tell you the first time.
Hello guys, and welcome to the Joy Report, where we get an outsider's view with an insider's clarity. The controversy erupted when Utah's governor said the quiet part out loud. In a statement that was supposed to show sorrow and solidarity, he ended up exposing something far more uncomfortable. Standing before cameras, he admitted, for 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. Those words stopped people in their tracks. He wasn't talking about the tragedy itself. He wasn't focusing on lives lost or the deeper issues at hand. He was admitting that for more than a day, his main concern was who the attacker would turn out to be. And in that moment, the mask slipped. Before we proceed, all credit goes to the creators of these videos. Let me play you a few more videos and I'll come back with more commentary.
I don't mean to laugh, but racism is funny sometimes, man. All I could do was laugh. That Utah governor got up there and said, dang it, he wasn't. He said, oh my gosh, I can't even say it. He said, dang it, he wasn't a Democrat. He said, bro, and I cannot make this up. He said, I was praying it wasn't one of us. Then Cash Patel sitting behind him, bro. This dude says, I was hoping that it was somebody from overseas. Please, somebody, I'm begging you, screenshot Cash Patel's face in the moment he said that and post it in the comments, please. Oh my God. Y'all gotta watch the video, bro. Y'all have to watch the video, bro. Bro, this is unbelievable. That man legit was up there like, see, I told you it was the... What? It wasn't the Democrats? It was the LG... Huh? It wasn't them? Then who was it? No way. Guys, it wasn't them.
They are finally saying the quiet part out loud. Let me just play you the clip because you're going to be shocked to hear this.
I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. That sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for. Just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here.
So we have now reached the point with shootings where people are just outright saying, I wish it was someone from out of state or an immigrant because that would be easier to push my agenda. And not only that, that is a governor saying this. This is a person holding office saying some shit like this out loud. I truly don't know if we're heading for dystopian times or not, but I do know being politically correct is over. Everyone is kind of fed up. They're saying the quiet part out loud. People aren't giving sympathy on either side, and things are clearly about to get worse.
What he said carried weight beyond his own intentions. The governor was shocked that the man who unalived Charlie Kirk was a white Republican, one of them. And whether he realized it or not, his words revealed exactly who he thought it would be. To many Black Americans, that sounded like the tired assumption that violence, chaos, and danger must always come from their communities. His prayer didn't sound neutral. It sounded like bias laid bare. Black Americans weren't surprised though. They've lived with this reality for centuries. They know that when something terrible happens, people in power often default to thinking it must be a black face behind it. The governor just admitted it loud. And once those words hit the airwaves, Black voices across the nation wasted no time dragging him for it. They confronted the mindset hiding underneath that prayer. And they exposed the quiet prejudice that politicians usually keep tucked away behind carefully polished statements. Social media exploded with reactions. Black commentators broke down exactly why his statement was so harmful. They explained that he wasn't just expressing fear, he was revealing his expectations. He expected the attacker to be someone else, someone outside his political base. And when it wasn't, the shocker in his voice told the story. Black Americans dissected his words, pointing out that this wasn't about compassion. It was about assumptions rooted in racial bias. For decades, Black people have warned that racism in America doesn't always wear a hood or wave a flag. Sometimes it shows up in a soft-spoken prayer, in the quiet calculations of leaders who already have a picture in their minds of who the criminal must be. The governor thought he was being honest, but in reality, he exposed himself. He said the quiet part out loud, and now he's paying the price in public accountability.
Okay, now this is what I don't get. We all know that these white folks are crashing out over this Charlie guy. We all know that the suspect, the shooter, was a white guy. We know that it happened in Utah at a rally with over 3,000 white people. So why are the HBCUs, the historical Black colleges, universities, getting bomb threats? Why did they have to close 8 of their colleges down for the whole week? How did that shooting have anything to do with Black people? Why do you white tees, or why are white tees finding us to be the problem? This was a white tee on white tee crime. There were no Black people even in the area. Utah? Negative. So please make me understand why our universities are being threatened and they have to close down for the whole week. That issue is between y'all. We don't have nothing to do with that. 90% of us didn't even know who that man was. So what is the problem? What is the deal?
The backlash wasn't only about his words, it was about what they represented. His comment highlighted how Black communities are constantly treated as suspects before they are treated as citizens. It showed how quickly leaders assume guilt when tragedy strikes, and it revealed the deep double standard in America's imagination of who can be violent. Because when the truth came out that the attacker was a white Republican man, the governor's surprise told everyone exactly where his suspicions had been all along. Black Americans didn't let that slide. They reminded him that white men have been behind some of the deadliest acts of violence in U.S. history, from school shootings to domestic terrorism. Yet time and time again, Black communities are the ones treated like ticking time bombs. They drag the governor for ignoring history, for ignoring facts, and for showing his own blind spot. This wasn't just about one slip of the tongue. It was about the system of bias that sees Blackness as dangerous, even when the evidence points elsewhere. His defenders scrambled to do damage control. They claimed his words were misunderstood, that he was just speaking from a place of fear. But Black Americans weren't buying it. They've seen this pattern too many times. When a leader exposes their prejudice, the excuses come rolling in. But intent doesn't erase impact. And the impact here was devastating. For many Black Utahans, it was proof that even their own governor couldn't see them without suspicion. Black commentators across the country pointed out how dangerous it is when elected officials reveal this kind of thinking. Because if that's the attitude behind closed doors, how does it shape policy? How does it shape policing? How does it shape the treatment of Black residents in Utah and beyond? His prayer was just a personal thought. It was a window into how bias bleeds into leadership.
So there are a lot of developments coming from Charlie Kirk's assassination, and one thing that I just saw now that obviously I want to speak about, which is why I'm here, is how the Utah governor was talking about that he prayed something 30 whatever hours, hoping that the suspect will not be from that area. And the way he kind of phrased it and the way he spoke about it, we know exactly what he was talking about. He was hoping the suspect to be a person of color. They can continue with the legacy of Charlie Kirk and continue with the violence and of course division. But as we found out, the suspect is a young white man who is from Utah. It is my understanding that Utah is one of the whitest places in America. But it makes one thing very clear, that even within the conservative frame, that they're not concerned about the loss of life and will continue to use this event to push for more violence and blame minorities, instead of addressing the very foundation of how Charlie Kirk lost his life and many other Americans, which is lack of gun control. They don't talk about that.
Black people in Utah wanted the governor to face the weight of his words, not with carefully scripted apologies, but with real acknowledgement of the harm. They asked, if you pray like that in private, what decisions are you making in public? If your first instinct is to assume guilt falls on black shoulders, how can you claim to represent everyone in your state? For Black Americans, this wasn't just about Utah. It was about the larger American story. It was a reminder that progress is fragile and that racism doesn't disappear. It adapts. It hides in polished speeches, in coded language, in prayers whispered behind closed doors. But every now and then, someone slips. And when they do, the truth comes spilling out for everyone to hear. That's what happened here. And once the quiet part was said out loud, there was no going back. The dragon continues because accountability matters. Black Americans are showing that they will not sit quietly while leaders reduce them to stereotypes. They will not confront, they will expose, and they will demand better. The Utah governor thought he was being vulnerable, but instead, he revealed the prejudice embedded in his own thinking. And now, his words will follow him as a reminder of what happens when quiet bias is spoken into the open. This moment is bigger than him. It's a lesson for every leader who thinks they can pray their prejudice away in private while pretending to be fair in public. Black Americans have made it clear. They hear you, they see you, and they will hold you accountable. The quiet part is no longer safe. Once it's out loud, it becomes the loudest headline, the sharpest critique, and the clearest sign that racism is still alive in Americans' halls of power. And the message could not be louder. If you underestimate black voices, if you expose your bias, if you try to make them the default villains in your story, they will drag you, they will confront you, and they will make sure the world knows exactly who you are.
Wait a damn minute.
So what do you all think about the governor admitting he prayed for 33 hours that the attacker wouldn't be one of them? Do you believe he was exposing his bias against Black Americans when he said this? And should the governor publicly apologize and take accountability? Or is the damage already done? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I would love to keep this discussion going. Otherwise, that's it from me. I also have a few playlists on my channel, and if you enjoy such kind of political content, please click up here and enjoy. Also, consider subscribing, liking and sharing because it helps me grow my channel and helps YouTube recommend this video to a wider audience. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and until the next time, the Joy Report out.